it live? It must be live. Ahoy, mates and mermaids. Captain here. Now, I've been on a couple shows, and my three favorite shows that I like to go on to, which have been welcome back several different times, is just the Rican and his comic books, John's Comics with Kids, and the Gray Man. They each have a show. Rod the Rican has Lamer Frame. John's Comics with Kids has Comic Gories. And the Gray Man, he has Cover Slingers, which is kind of like Comic Gories, but not quite. So I figured I'd talk about these three shows that I've been on and rate them from 1 to 5. I have three subjects on it that kind of describe each show. So we'll start with Rod the Rican, Lamer Frame, a good show of mine. I like being on that show. It's a drawing show. So our three main things are trash talk, stressful, and community. So we'll start off with Lamer Frame. Now, trash talking, that's a good show. It's got its good trash talking. I would have to definitely say it's probably we'll go a high 4 with trash talking. Stressful? Oh, it can be very stressful to draw something under a minute or 2 minutes. So I'd have to put that at about a strong 4. Now, community-wise, every week he has somebody different from the community. There's new players. He tries to bring in more people. Originally, it started off with just the same people, and now that it's gone for about 2 years now, I think, he brings in more people. More people come on and draw, and there's great artists. So I'd have to say that's a 5. So let's talk John's Comics with categories. Comic-gories, sorry. So what would we rank the trash talk? It's tame, kind of like, I mean, nobody's trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anybody like that. Like, it's a great show. So I would say probably a 4. 4 good trash talk. Let's try stress level. Well, this one has to be stressful because you only have 30 seconds to pick the comic book for their category. You don't know what the category is, and you have 30 seconds to pick that comic book out of all your collections. So, yes, that can be very stressful. So I gave that one probably a 5. Community, I would have to say that's a 5 too, because he brings in new people every week or every 2 weeks whenever they do the show. Because it had ladies week ladies night all the other day on Monday night. So they mix it up, and he makes sure that it gets mixed up a little bit. Now we'll talk about the Gray Man and his show Cover Slingers. It's kind of like Comic Gories, but not quite. They tell you what the topic is, and so you have a whole week to figure out your comic books, 5 comic books that you want to use for that topic. So let's go with trash talk number 1. Now, there's a reason why I really have a soft spot for myself for this show. Gray Man, he's a great dude. Need to check him out. And Matilda, the judge. There's no better trash talking show on YouTube than that. It ain't even about the panelists trash talking each other's comics. We'll trash talk anything and everything. No subjects taboo on that show. So let's go stress level. Well, like I said, you already know what the topic is a week before. So you can pick a comic book here or there. You only need to pick five. But it still can be stressful sometimes. I'll give it a soft four. Because the simple fact is, you might have a comic book and somebody shows that. That's happened to me many times on that show, where somebody's shown a comic book and I have it sitting right next to me that I was going to show. So now I got to quick and figure out what comic book I'm going to show, or make sure that I always have 10, because it's much easier that way than trying to find something real quick. Now, community wise, Gray Man's from Britain, and the judge Matilda, she's from Israel, I believe. Don't quote me on that one. But they bring in community members. So I'd have to say it's a four, because some of us are regulars, which makes the show just comfortable, I would say. Because, like, I've been on with, so many great community members: Bub's Comics, Man Cave, Roscoe, Bill, he's in there. Uh, Metarog's been on there. Simple Simon's been on there. Slim's been on there. I mean, you bring in basically community members. Yet the other ones, like Rod the Rican and Comigories, they at least fill in the spots with new people every week. Gray Man, you probably can't find people every week because, not a lot of us know about Gray Man. So that's why I wanted to come on here, promote these three shows: Lame or Frame on Rod the Rican's, or it's just the Rican and his comics on YouTube; John's Comics with Kids, Categories; and The Gray Man, all one word, Cover Slingers. So I want to promote these three, give them all a great shout out. They have all three great shows, all different in their own way, which makes it great. But my 2 cents is, if you would like to be ever on one of these shows, hit them up. They're on Instagram, YouTube, leave a comment in one of their shows, but definitely watch these three shows. Tell me if my grading is wrong. It's just my opinion. But each one is unique in its own way. Excuse me. The best part is, anybody can be on the show. They don't care if you have 6 subs to 2,000 subs. They just like to bring in community members. So with that being said, I hope you watch these three shows. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think my grading system's off? Do you think the trash talking on one is more than the other? Do you think they bring in more community members on one than the other? Do you think one show's more stressful than the other? Leave a comment. Let me know. Because I'm quite curious if everybody out there, that my subscribers, or at least who watches this video, actually seen all three of these game shows. I've been on all three of them. Have you been on all three of them? With that being said, keep digging for your treasure, and just know it's only a show.